when I was 12 years old. I mean, I was already pretty much a gaming fanatic. I played a lot of Minecraft at the time, a lot of RuneScape. It was very simple, easy to play games. And I think before that, I actually started playing, or I was playing like a lot of Call of Duty, and that was like 24/7. So I was definitely addicted to games as a child, but once I found Minecraft, that was pretty much my newest addiction, and I would just play that 24/7. And I played on a server with some mutual friends, where my mutual friend was the host, and through one of the donation perks, since I didn't have any money, I could just use a referral code for League, and that's how I basically found it, which was like the second time I ever heard about it, or the second time I even attempted to play it. The first time I didn't have a good enough PC, but the second time I played my first game, and then I was supposed to play 5 for the referral code, and I immediately fell in love with the game, and I've been playing it ever since. Basically, the first season I started playing, which was pre-season 3, I did place bronze in the preseason, but once it came to actual season, I went all the way up to platinum from bronze. And then the next season, I got to diamond 2. The next season after that, which was season 5, I was 15 at the time. I had challenger, and then as I started making myself more known, I was around 16 years old. Pretty much on every stream at the time, because I played 24/7, legit nonstop. I had nothing else to do. And I mean, this is basically just how I fell in love with League. I think ever since I started playing in the beginning, there's just something to it that was really like no other game. There's a feeling to it that's like no other game. It's like literally every game is different. Every game has a uniqueness to it. Just when I was like 14 or 15, when I started seeing myself improve at a pretty rapid rate, I just sought after it. I was like, okay, I actually think I want to go pro. I think this is really the only thing that's giving me any happiness, even though I'm like, some 14-year-old kid. I'm not really that mature. I just saw this is what was making me happy at the time, and I wanted to pursue it as much as I could. So I just went about getting better and better at the game, watching VODs of players that were better than me, just focusing on literally anything I could do that was better at the time. And then eventually around like season 6, season 7, I started getting like small amateur team opportunities, and these weren't like the greatest because I didn't learn very much, but I think it was a nice introduction to my first teams. And then I finally found my very first academy team in like 2018, which was on TLA. I was supposed to be on it in the beginning of it, but they actually moved Mickey down from their main team to the academy roster. So I missed out on one split where I just played solo queue and I hit rank 1 twice. I mean, I played mostly Karth as mid for that, but I mean, I was pretty excited to play on TLA, but then when I found out I couldn't, it was pretty disappointing. But then half a year later, I started playing for them in summer split, which turned out to be like May 2018. And from there, I had, I think, my very first season of League, which was pretty good. I think that was my best season in Academy, at least, just because I was the most motivated I was in Academy. I mean, when you play Academy for so long, you're playing against the same players, you get kind of complacent. You never feel like you're actually going to get moved up, especially working under some orgs where the players on the main team are like, not necessarily irreplaceable, but very hard to replace because they have so much branding behind them. They have like such a big name behind them, right? And from there, I just kept playing in Academy until I finally came here. And then I got a chance after the very first split. My parents were kind of worried because they didn't even know what it was at the time. And I mean, it was mostly my mom because my stepdad had passed away at the time, which is part of the reason why I was like so focused on this, because it was the only thing that could help distract me from that. And my mom was very scared or worried, I think, at the time. She didn't openly say these things, but I was pretty confident that I could do this. And I just wanted to at least make her happy and give her some hope. So this is what I was focused on, trying to at least make her happy over this. But when she found out I finally got the opportunity, she was extremely excited and happy. And she was like very like, I don't know, pushy about it. Like, you should definitely keep going with this. I'm very proud of you. Because once I hit LCS, in my opinion, I think that's when majority of my learning process will begin. Or like the most rapid learning process will begin. Because then I get to play versus better teams. I get to see how they play the game. I get to see how individually they play the game versus me, or in like lanes or in the jungle, and just I get to understand it at a even higher level. And that'll help me play versus the other players. And eventually I'll even out with them, or I'll surpass them. One day I want to play at Worlds, at least play at it. I mean, saying I could win Worlds is a bit optimistic, but I think I could compete with world-class players if I really dedicate a lot of my time to this game, or dedicate more of my time and just keep working hard.